It'll move for a while and then it'll stall out. You're not gonna outrun all those cars that are lined up on the bottom unless you've got a couple really rockets there.
The bottom is definitely the short way around this racetrack, and you know they run a little bit different groove than we used to here, Kenny. Used to you would use the whole racetrack. Now
problem right there.
Brian
the 25
Scott.
of Brian Scott looked as though he blew a tire. And as soon as that happened, the field has to spread behind him. Brian Silas involved in this. That's his Rotella T number 11.
Yeah, a lot of cars involved. There's Ali Owens, that 12 cars involved. There's Landon Castle's 88, Mark Davis the 8, both involved in this incident. There's Ken Butler the 3rd right there. A lot of damage to that Aaron's Dream machine.
Well, but we see him getting ready to get out, so that's what we want to see.
Yeah, good.
Boy, you know, you hate to see the big wreck, and you sure hate to see it when it was a mechanical something. You know, I mean, a piece of debris. All of a sudden, a tire gets cut, and everybody's wrecking.
Yeah, Ken Butler jumping out of that car had a little bit of flame there. You see him shaking his hands.
Yeah, he took his gloves off. I don't know if I would have been pulling my gloves off until I got out of that vehicle.
Well, he was probably took his gloves off to help himself get out. You kind of know where the flames are.
There's Brian Silas, the Shell Rotella T car. He was involved. He had a flat tire earlier, came back out on the racetrack, and then was running with that lead pack, trying to be in a position to get the Aaron's lucky dog if the caution were to come out. And unfortunately, he was involved in this huge accident.
Involved in the wrong pack at the wrong time. Let's take another look.
Brian Scott, that white car, about 6/7 back. He blows a rear tire, goes up the racetrack, catches Ken Butler, makes hard contact. Brian Silas makes hard contact. The 4 of Taylor Malsom also involved. That red and white car down on the bottom of the racetrack. A.J. Hendrickson, the 7 involved. Mark Davis, the 8. There's another view. Watch the white car left of your screen.
All of a sudden.
That's right in front of Justin Allgaier.
Allgaier
just barely got by, as well as Joey Logano. Ken Butler nowhere to go. Eddie Mercer drives to the bottom of the racetrack. Brian Silas, Taylor Malsom make some contact. Michael Phelps in the 45 was involved.
Tell you what I really want to do. I want to give an attaboy to a bunch of the guys that were behind the wreck. A lot of them never had a chance of missing it.
Yeah,
a lot of them checked up and didn't drive in there. I mean, they really did a good job.
Yep.
Yeah, all these guys really had nowhere to go. No reaction time, anything when that tire went down. See the fire there on Ken Butler's car, Aaron's Dream Machine. A lot of damage to that car.
Here's another glance. Again, it's the white, the 25.
Yeah, the right rear tire goes. Justin Allgaier just barely gets by. Joey Logano barely gets by. Hard contact with a lot of these cars.
Right along. This is Brian Silas.
Ooh, there's the contact with Taylor Malsom, then hard contact with the outside wall.
Now, we heard Brian Silas get out of the gas. He knew something was happening in front of him. And then some guys behind him didn't get out of the gas, thinking they could probably drive through it.
There's Matt Carter. This is going to be a good look. And you see Matt already off, slowing down on the brakes. You see the 90.
Yep. That was Gabby DiCarlo.
Gabby DiCarlo makes contact with another. You see all the debris on the racetrack. Matt just slowing down, picking his way through the debris as best he can and the cars, and no damage to that 46 car. Good heads-up driving, like you said, Kenny.
Right, and it's just a matter of who's behind you and how close they are, because when you just check up here, if you just check up instantly, there's a good chance you're going to get punted. I mean, you know, you got to have time to get your arm up, and hopefully their spotters are on top of it, and they're driving far enough ahead that they also see the activity up there. You got to look way up there, because at 200 mile an hour, we're traveling a football field a second.
Right.
So, you know, when you get there, the wreck's still
get there quick.
You get there wrecked.
Justin Allgaier on pit road now. Got the hood up on that race car. Action is slowed once again. Justin Marks in the 0-1 looks as though he may have blown a right front tire and got into the wall. And so the ARCA ReMax 250 under caution for the second time today.
Yeah, pretty hard contact with that Toyota, the Construct Core Toyota. You see him right now. He's running in the 5th spot, just riding along here. You can see the thing turn hard right when that right front tire went down,
yeah.
Kenny.
When it drops down like that, it's the most sickening feeling because there's absolutely nothing you can do as a driver except brace up and then knowing that when it does hit, you got to work on keeping it up against the outside wall so you don't come back across the track into traffic.
You could see the debris on the windshield of the 46 of Matt Carter. And it, you know, when that tire goes down, that thing drops over, and you saw it took maybe a split second as we got leaders on pit road. Wendy.
Welcome back. A short day for the ARCA ReMax Series debut of Ricky Carmichael.
You can see all the damage to the right rear corner of that 33 car. Same thing that happened to Brian Scott earlier. Dale Jr. earlier just exploded. There's Kevin Harvick. He was on the backstretch watching over there. And
he was back there with all his friends, wasn't he?
Yeah. I'm going to tell him you said that, Kenny.
I'm sure he's pleased. Obviously, this is not the outcome he wanted, but he's got to be pleased with what he saw up to this point.
Ricky's goal today was to get approved by NASCAR to run a truck race at Daytona and to get some experience. I would have to give Ricky an A+ for the job that he did today.
You and I are going to prove him, right, Kenny?
Definitely.
So when they ask, it's been kid tested and Phil and Kenny approved. Take a look at what happened for the 33. The right rear tire is going to blow. He's running 6th right there.
Boy, Patrick Shelter did a great job avoiding him. A terrific job avoiding him. There's Terry Jones and Jeremy Clements making slight contact on the inside of the racetrack. There's Ricky Stenhouse. He's going to avoid. I'll tell you, Ricky did a great job. You see him. He's driving that thing the whole way. He's got the brakes locked up. Now he lets go of the brakes so that thing straightens out. Really did exactly what you're supposed to do. Here's Matt Carter's on board. You see all the debris. Frank Kimmel's on board. All the debris off of Ricky's car, and again keeps it out of the wall, keeps it from taking somebody else out of the racetrack. Nice job.
Wendy, what is our motorcycle superstar thinking about this stock car racing career?
Well, his day was cut a little bit short, but it's still all smiles down here. Ricky Carmichael, unfortunate circumstance what happened, but were you able to learn about anything?
Wendy, we've got a problem. The 99 of Ricky Stenhouse almost up in the air. Almost over is the 99 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This could be the end of the run for the championship.
Boy, the right rear tire is gone on that car. We didn't see exactly what started this. We're hearing that he blew the right rear tire, which is what started this. And what a, you know, we were just talking about him being 35 points behind as they run. Just 2 laps ago, there's Jeff Campy, crew chief. Cannot believe it. What a horrible break for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., this entire Roush Fenway organization.
You know, we're seeing a rash of tire problems today, and that's something that we have not seen here. I mean, we've seen this race won a lot of times with coming in and putting run right sides only. You know, so tires have never been a problem here. So be curious what was causing that today.
See Ricky very, very disappointed, I'm sure, and looked very, very fortunate that he didn't get that thing up in the air. It got up in the air, did not go over.
Didn't roll over. What a disappointing ending to this race, and the variable has always been when you come to Talladega, you could be involved in something that will end your day early.
There he is right there, right behind. The right rear tire went down. Justin Lofton had nowhere to go. Look how high that car gets up in the air, and it comes right back down when the roof flaps deploy.
Roof flaps have saved a lot of cars from being upside down in our sport.
You see the debris right there. The tire already went down. Justin Lofton was having a great race. He had nowhere to go. He has a lot of damage, but unfortunately, this is the one these guys circled at the beginning of the year. Let's see if we can get by this race without having something go wrong like this. And unfortunately for Ricky Stenhouse, he did not get by this race without having a problem. Look at that car get up in the air. The left front corner, the only thing remaining on the ground, all 4 tires up off the ground, and then came back down.
Yeah, it was the only thing touching the ground. Take another look. There's the tire going.
So all the debris already up in the air.
There's Justin Lofton coming by with nowhere to go. A little bit of, I'm not sure that Patrick Shelter even made any contact. Looked like he almost went underneath the rear of that Ford.
So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. slams back to the ground, hits the inside wall, and then gets it straightened back out. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has been able to climb out of that race car. He climbed back into the ambulance. They'll take him to the infield care center, check him out, and I'm sure he'll be disappointed, but we'll hear from him. A big change in the points today. Cars moving all the way down on the apron, trying to avoid any type of contact.
Looks like the 48 car, Ben Stancil. Remember, he's had some damage from an earlier incident. 3 wide, Justin Allgaier on the outside, Max Dumouriez in the middle, Ben Stancil, the 48 on the inside.
3 wide racing at Talladega.
Eddie Mercer's going to jump up. Oh, trouble. Scott Speed!
It's Scott Speed, your point leader, with problems. Let's see if he can avoid any more damage.
Got a couple cars turned around there. There's yet another one turning around. That's the 18 of Chrissy Wallace. That looks like Ben Stancil in that TRG number 48.
And Scott Speed's issues could very well have come from that contact that he had with Bobby Gerhart.
Very much. When you're wrestling with these cars and bouncing them off each other, it'll cut those rubber tires real easy. Now he's got, we see him rolling and make it back down the pit road, but we got serious issues here.
Hey guys, this changes everything now. Absolutely changes everything. Remember, we were talking about giving this championship to Scott Speed. Right now,
we just brought in a guy by the name of Frank Kimmel into this championship hunt once again.
See if we can take a look back at what happened. Scott's running there in about the 5th position, and then just tire goes around. Tire. Same thing happened.
Right rear.
3 or 4 times before. The right rear tire goes down. See, all these guys are trying to take evasive action. Then there's somebody goes through the grass. That's Ben Stancil going through the grass, and then looked like maybe somebody ran in the back. Maybe Max Dumouriez ran in the back of Chrissy Wallace, turned her around in the aftermath. Watch the very top of your screen right there. You see that Red Bull car. The right rear tire goes right there, right in the tri-oval. Around he goes. Tom Hesser does a nice job getting around the outside, as well as Patrick Sheltra.
Then he still doesn't have the damage to the front end of that car until
he might have made a little bit of contact with the outside wall. This is Frank Kimmel's onboard right here. That's Patrick Sheltra right in front of you. See the debris from the flat tire. Frank barely gets by on the outside.
Once again, though, we've just seen heads-up driving by the people behind the accident.
It's got to be Matt Carter right here. He's trying to find a place to go. There you see the dirt, trying to avoid Dexter Bean. There's cars spinning in front of him. He moves to the outside, gives everybody else a little bit of a room out against the outside wall. He did not force that car into the outside wall. Good heads-up driving by Matt Carter. Caught a glimpse of Justin Laughlin there with the damage from that incident when Ricky Stenhouse blew that right rear tire when he came along and clipped the left front of Ricky on the inside.
So Joey Logano looked as though he was thinking about trying to make the move around that 72 of John Jackson, but he stays right in his tire tracks, right on the bottom of the racetrack. Around goes John Jackson. Jackson goes around. He'll catch up a few cars behind him, and the caution comes out once again.
Yeah, Tim George Jr., Bill Baird, Tom Hessert involved. Heavy damage to that. Did he get into the back of John Jackson?
It didn't look like it. It looked like there was distance between those two race cars.
There's Bill Baird. What a great run he had going. He had a top 5 run going to follow up on that top 5 he had at Daytona earlier this year, Kenny.
Well, we've been very fortunate. Missed a lot of wrecks. This one we didn't miss, but saw that window net come down, so that's what we want to see.
So Ricky Stenhouse Jr., again, he was 9 laps behind Scott Speed. Now he's coming back onto the racetrack, at least trying to make his way back onto the racetrack. But here is a look at what has just taken place with John Jackson coming out of turn number 4.
See the green car? No, it looked like he must have had a tire go down. Maybe the left rear tire, Kenny?
It's hard to tell off that angle.
Yeah, definitely no contact though from the Joey Logano car. Definitely no contact.
Not at all.
Take another look.
That thing turns so fast, Kenny. If he didn't cut a tire down, then something broke. But here comes Bill Baird, Tim George Jr., Tom Hessert. Absolutely nowhere to go. These other guys right here did a nice job avoiding this.
I just hope we can say that for the rest of the race, because they have done an excellent job.
17 laps remain in this one, and again, we have problems on the racetrack, and this one involving the race leader John Jackson was leading this race. He had led 25 laps today, and now in front of the pack is Joey Logano, making just his second start in the ARCA ReMax series. The first time he started a race was Rockingham. He dominated that race. Now back in front of the field.
Take a look at our point battle right now with both Scott Speed and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. back on the racetrack. The gap is 70, but look how that's brought Justin Allgaier, Frank Kimmel, and Matt Carter back in here. Now, Matt Carter, if he ends up 170 points behind, he's probably out of it. But stranger things have happened. You might see Justin.
Oh, problems right there. Strange things continue to happen. The wheel just came off the 48.
That's Ben Stancil. That's actually the carcass of the tire that came off. You see it rolling down in the infield grass. Somebody came along on the inside, fortunately went through the grass and avoided Ben Stancil.
The other thing about the ARCA ReMax series that you've got to remember, they will finish this under a green flag condition.
Yeah, there can be a potential of multiple green flag finish. You see the 40. He knows something's gone wrong here. He tries to get down to the apron of the racetrack. When the carcass comes off, though, he loses control, slides back up the racetrack. I don't even know if he hit the outside wall there, Kenny, but he's got some damage from some earlier incidents. But Ben does a nice job of only it being a one-car incident again.
You're right. Everybody has done a heads-up job today.
Scott Speed continuing to make laps. You see the front end completely gone on that race car.
This yellow is good for those for Scott Speed and Ricky again, because this gets them